Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Friday, May 5th, 2017. Welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories, translated into English, every weeknight. Just a few minutes ago, the Prime Minister announced that he asked the Socialist Party's candidate for Kavaja's mayor to withdraw from the race, after the Democratic Party's threats for protests on Sunday. The Prime Minister said he will not allow the destabilization of the country. The Prime Minister said in a statement to the media, "There's a plan for the destabilization of the country to damage Albania, and this is a fact. Albania will not be destabilized because we will not allow it. Our goal is that not a single Albanian citizen is hurt." Earlier, the chairman of the Central Election Commission, Dinar Biba, sent a letter to the Prosecutor General asking him to take measures in order for elections in Kavaja not to be blocked. In the letter, the chairman of the CEC said that the Director of State Police has provided information that the Democratic Party will block voting center number 42 in Kavaja by protesting and gathering groups of Democratic Party supporters. The CEC Chairman says that the right to protest is a constitutional right, but he expresses his concern that in this case it conflicts with the right to vote. The letter reads, "Campaigns must be silent before and on election day. Protests are not allowed in the period of campaign silence. Also, we notice that police officers are unable to be present on election day in Kavaja so that the right to vote is ensured. Believing that we share the same concern, even though not the same responsibility for the organization of elections, we are asking you to respect the law and monitor the possible excesses that can happen during the protests." This comes at a time when the Democratic Party chairman has announced beforehand of protests in Kavaja on May 7th. Earlier today, before the Prime Minister announced the withdrawal of the SP candidate in Kavaja, the Democratic Party chairman, Lozim Basha, declared from the protesters' tent that the Democrats will march to Kavaja on May 7th to set up the first foundation of what he called the New Republic. Once again, the DP chairman reiterated that the provisional government is the only solution to ensure free and fair elections, declaring, "We will march together, and we are ready. The first and the most important station in this battle is the capital of democracy, Kavaja. On Sunday, any Albanian and those who want the new republic will be happy because the old republic will fall. Let us be united on Sunday in the biggest popular union, in the peaceful and determined confrontation that will symbolically mark the fall of the old republic. We will not allow drugs and crime, and we will all be there." Earlier today, the DP chairman held a meeting with the Swedish Foreign Minister, Margot Wallström. After the meeting, Mr. Basha said that the whole world now knows the problem of drug trafficking in Albania. The DP chairman emphasized that elections will not be held without the opposition. Mr. Basha thanked the citizens and allies for not registering to participate in what he considers to be a facade elections and reiterated that the provisional government is the only condition for free and fair elections, also emphasizing that June 18th is not a legal date to hold the elections. Despite the political crisis and the initiative to help the Prime Minister and the DP chairman find compromise, President of the Republic in the position of Chairman of Supreme Judicial Council has asked for the implementation of electoral code and of the Constitution for the administration of the June 18th elections. Mr. Nishani held a meeting with the members of the Electoral College with whom he discussed the administration of the election process. After highlighting the importance of any electoral process, the President praised the necessity of the Electoral College to exert its activity and correctly treat all the conflicts that may be presented by different subjects. As the Chairman of Supreme Judicial Council, Mr. Nishani asked the Electoral College to respect the Constitution and the laws of the Republic. The College is made up of 8 members, and it reviews the complaints the political parties or candidates may have regarding the June 18th election process. Chairman of the Socialist Parliamentary Group, Ruçi, who was present during the first meeting of the Prime Minister with the DP chairman at the President's office, declared today that the parliamentary elections will be held on June 18th, with or without the opposition's participation. Mr. Ruçi was in Fier today, where he paid respect at the Martyrs cemetery on the occasion of National Martyrs Day. Speaking to the media, he said, "On May 5th, we honor those who gave their life for the country. At that time, they could not have known that their descendants would fight for power. Power can only be taken with votes. Hope is the one who dies. I believe the opposition will participate in elections. Politics is a chess game. The Prime Minister made his offer. The other party should now make its selection. Let's wait. There is no other offer. The other offer is what the opposition is asking for: power and co-governance. Only in Albania the opposition asks to rule the country before elections. I have previously declared in Fier that the Albanian people will have the new president, and the president was elected. I have declared that elections will be held on June 18th, and they will be held on June 18th. I have declared that Albania and Albanian people do not accept destabilization. Mr. Ruçi also added that only people through their vote will decide who will be in the opposition and who will rule the country. U.S. Ambassador to Albania, Donald Liu, has resumed his meetings in an effort to help the parties solve the political impasse. After the second meeting between the Prime Minister and the Democratic Party chairman failed, the U.S. Ambassador held a 60-minute meeting with Prime Minister Edi Rama at the Prime Minister's office. Yesterday, the ambassadors accredited to Tirana have held consecutive negotiations in order to reach a political compromise. Prime Minister and DP Chairman held a second meeting at the President's office yesterday evening, and again they did not reach an agreement, but left the meeting with different stances. The Prime Minister did not change his proposal for Democratic Party, declaring that he only offers the post of the Prime Minister and 4 Vice Ministers to the Democratic Party. Meanwhile, the DP Chairman insists on postponing the election date and appointing various provisional ministers. Today, on the occasion of Martyrs' Day, Prime Minister Edi Rama and President-elect Ilir Meta held a lunch with military veterans. During his speech, the Prime Minister considered Mr. Meta not only as the state's representative, but also a representative of the Democratic Party, saying, "Thanks to his political talent, the President-elect is today not only a representative and our representative, but also the representative of the other party. This is something the other party does not accept, but neither denies it. Mr. President, you were pleased to take the floor, and I am obliged to sit alongside the new co-chairman of the Alliance for European Albania, my friend Petrit Vasili." President-elect declared, "I want to thank the co-chairman of the Alliance, as I am not anymore, but he continues to be. One of the EU founders has declared, we all live under the same sky, but do not see the same horizon." During his speech, Prime Minister Rama emphasized the reform on retirees, stating, "I am glad to declare today that when we came into power, there were 12,000 retirees who received a pension for contributing after the war. We cleared the list of abusers and gave the reward to those who deserve it." Earlier, the Prime Minister and future President Ilir Meta paid homage to the Martyrs Cemetery. Current President Bujar Nishani and other political representatives were also present during the ceremony. The Socialist Movement for Integration and its candidates for MPs in Tehran organized a commemorative ceremony to honor those who fell for their homeland. From the bust of Kemal Mustafa, where he put wreaths on the occasion of the 75th anniversary of his death, the chairman of the Socialist Movement for Integration declared that history teaches us that we should give up something in order to ensure the future of the country, saying, "The sacrifice we are asked to make today is really small compared with the great lesson that comes from history and May 5th. When young people who gave their lives are calling us to be responsible and to give up something for the good, tranquility, and security of the country." Mr. Vasili also stated that this should be done in order for Albania to follow the integration path. Member of the board of the Tourist Operators Association, Recep Kasmi, declared today that a further escalation of the political crisis or the creation of other tense situations and the destabilization of the country would seriously damage tourism in Albania. Mr. Kasmi said that the political factor was a high impact on tourism, and the fate of many families that make a living with the revenues coming from tourism depend on political developments. Mr. Kasmi says that a considerable number of foreign tourists who visit Albania through tours organized by agencies of neighboring countries, such as Macedonia, Montenegro, and Croatia, misinform and disorient tourists about Albania. A few weeks ago, tourist operators sent a request to the president of the country asking that the election date in the electoral campaign should not be held on summertime, as it damages the development of tourism. Mr. Kasmi also supports this idea, saying that the postponement of the election date and the consequently of the electoral campaign would help with a good start to tourist season. Even though the number of tourists for 2017 is expected to be high, political stability is considered of great importance to attract foreign tourists. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Cosmo K, and on behalf of War News, thank you and good night.